Good morning, and thank you for joining us for the Textlocal part of the programme webinar. Welcome all our visitors. My name is Daron Healy. I've also got Andy Hemming with me today, who's going to a bit later on take us through a demonstration of our messenger platform as well. By all means, if you have any questions, feel free to type away and we'll do our best to respond to them. Okay, so let's kick off. Okay, I've set a little bit of agenda, obviously, just to give a bit of an insight about who Textlocal are for those of you that maybe have never come across us before. Talking through the Textlocal partner program, why you should potentially partner with us, the different reseller models that we have, the Textlocal API, benefits to your customers, and obviously revenue and profit examples, which is probably the main point of interest for yourselves in terms of how you can add value to your businesses and make some additional money coming through. With them a live demo for the messenger and obviously questions and answers, but feel free if you've got any questions as we go through the presentation, feel free to fire away. Okay, Textlocal is the UK's #1 SMS platform, been established well over 10 years. Recently we have hit some real large targets in terms of the number of texts that go out every month, and we've exceeded the 30 million SMS messages a month that go out at the moment. We deal with some of the largest brands within the marketplace, but that also filters down to your local businesses, your guys down the road, your restaurants, and everybody in between. They've all got a means and a reason for messaging and communicating with their end user base and providing marketing services outwards. We work with clients from every major sector, so in terms of confidence, in terms of who we are, we're a well-established brand with some great features and benefits that you can add to your portfolio. Why become a Textlocal partner? I think the main reason is to provide additional revenue and services to your business and your end user base. We live in a very competitive world these days, and being able to add value to not only your business but potentially your customers. It's good for profit and revenue, but it also helps you grow your business and maybe introduce yourself into new markets that previously you haven't considered. We offer enhanced services and a full service wraparound, which means that we support you to become educated, to make sure you're up to speed with, you have all the toolkit and everything that you need with marketing resources, etc., for you to be successful while being a partner with ourselves. And within that, we have full training and creative white label marketing material that you can then reformat and repurpose for your own benefit, so you can go to market. And that's backed up by internal account management and external account management within the partner team. So let's dive in and just talk about the different partnership models that we have. I think the main one that most people tend to be interested in is the full partner reseller model. In a nutshell, this allows you to totally rebrand, totally white label our messenger service, so you can create your own brand under your own guise. There's no indication of Textlocal within any of the platform, so you can actually have a go-to-market strategy that aligns with your own business model and your own aspirations in terms of what you want to do with the brand. But on the back of that also means that you can actually set your own pricing model. You can sort of put your own packages together, you can put your own proposition together to your marketplace that's right for your sectors. And on the back of it, because you're setting your own pricing model, you can actually determine how much margin and profit you want to make via reselling our services. And there's a whole host of features that you can use Messenger for that you can package up and sell out to your potential customer base. Also gives you access to the API, which we're going to talk about in a little while. We'll give you full product training, and we actually assist in the white labelling process as well, so any technical requirements that you need to be undertaken, we work with you to make sure that you're up and running, you have all the marketing material and the training you need, and then we support you going forward. And I think the main benefit of that is obviously you're still seen to be the main brand that's dealing with your customer base, and it impacts in terms of your products and pricing models, and that generates ongoing revenue for your business. But as a full partner, we provide the support directly to you as a business partner. We also offer a dual brand reseller model. So this is for businesses that may not want to go down the full white labelling model, in terms of they might not feel they have enough resources internally in their present business to be able to make a full commitment to reselling the Textlocal proposition. So dual brand allows you to have the best of both worlds. So you can still make commissions in this case by introducing your businesses to Textlocal, but your business will still be aware that you still exist within that within that process. But also, they understand that it's more of a partner relationship. And again, you would still have full visibility of the accounts that sit underneath you. You're still actively involved in your own customers. Customer ownership is still with yourselves, but it's done more on a commission basis. And we would actually give the support direct to your end users in this model. We'd still support you as a reseller, but with that engagement and any payment processes will be direct with your end user base. So it's more of a flexible approach if you don't want to totally align yourself with a full partner model. So those are two models that we operate at the moment. In terms of some of the functionality, we actually work with a lot of businesses that will actually integrate the messenger services as part of their existing systems, whether that's a CRM or a billing platform or an EPOS service, and we have a dedicated development team that are able to work on individual projects. So it makes the message, the SMS integration side an automated process as part of some of these present systems or services, which things like selling out billings or appointment confirmations or whatever that business needs. And we have some off-the-shelf stuff which has already been pre-developed, which is free. We also have a dedicated team that can do bespoke development, but obviously there'd be a cost involved in terms of that development process. So it gives you a little bit of flexibility when you're going out and you're talking to maybe some of your larger businesses to offer something that's more integrated, more bespoke to their business requirements. And again, it's an added value service that you can offer and still make revenues off the back of, while potentially getting you into some accounts that you haven't been dealing with in the past. That's a little bit more about the app. I will be doing other webinars in the future that are API specific and integration specific, so by all means keep in touch and make sure you sign up for further information to be aware of those. Benefits for your customers. Without going too much into the functionality, but SMS is a brilliant media for getting information and links and attachments in the hands of your customer base or their customer base or the end user base. The beauty about an SMS, it lands directly into the individual's phone, and as we all know, the first one we tend to check on our mobile phones tend to be our text messages. About 98% of those messages are open within the first 5 seconds, and because we can bespoke that and make it very customizable, the actual message as it arrives is very personalized. And as a lot of people weren't aware, that with SMS you can attach links, you can fly people over to like social media pages, you can attach PDFs, Word documents, PowerPoint documents. It becomes a very powerful tool to actually disseminate information and get information and get a response from your customer base in a very quick and cheap and effective method. So things like mobile web pages, you can personalize that for customer data, for loyalty, for surveys. We can do tickets, vouchers, loyalty cards. In fact, if you can think of a solution in terms of how, if you've got something in your head in terms of how you want to communicate with your customer base, the chances are it can be delivered via SMS. I say back to loyalty, redemption and action, so ticketing. It's pretty much a comprehensive means of delivering a thought, a process, any information piece, a call to action piece, a ticket piece directly into the hands of your end user at that moment in time. So you're not waiting for somebody to come back and troll through their emails and try and find that information. You're not waiting for somebody to have visibility of a social media post. It's instant, it actually arrives and people can respond to it straight away. And within our Messenger app, which we're going to go through shortly, it's got full reporting facilities, so you can actually track and manage and get good insight in terms of how the messages are being responded to. Obviously, it's all about you can create your own journeys. Again, these bespoke ideas that when you're talking to your customer base about, they'll be the ones talking to you about how they want to engage with their customers, and coming up with some of the ideas again, and having that throughput with them is part of the consultancy and the value-added service that you can offer. And businesses will pay for these kind of services, which is where the opportunity arises to be a reseller of our Messenger app. Okay, it's cost to customer. It's a very, it's probably one of the cheapest means of actually getting a huge amount of communication in front of your customer base. As an average, it's about 5p per SMS, which in terms of delivering the response you're going to get on the back of that, generates really good revenue and profit throughput for your business and the campaigns you're going to run for your end users as well. So in terms of giving an indication of some of the revenues you can make via the business, I've used these as exemplary prices, but obviously if you were a full reseller, you would actually set your own pricing platform. So on this basis, you would buy SMS via ourselves at preferred rates, at preferred full reseller rates, and then you can sell these out and package these out at a price that you think is relevant and pertinent to your end users that you're working on that particular profit. As you can see, the margins are, very lucrative, and bearing in mind that most campaigns will, they don't tend to be one-off campaigns. Once your end users realise that, these are really effective means of communicating, you get referred and repeat business going forward as well. So very quickly you can have reasonable revenue streams building up across your client base. That's a full partner model. With the dual brand model, we work on a commission basis because obviously we're kind of partnered with yourselves and we're actually doing the engagement with your end users. But again, still on a commission basis, you can still make good revenues and good profit just by working with us, and we work alongside you with your customer base to generate revenue and income for yourself. So again, you have a choice in terms of which route you want to go down, which model suits you better. But again, these are indicative to prices. For more information, then I'd probably suggest we have like a one-to-one conversation, or we have further engagement after the webinar. Okay, I'm going to hand over to Andy Hemming now, who's going to do a demonstration and overview of the messenger service.
As suggested, over the next 10 minutes or so, I'm just going to give you a broad overview of the platform. We'll show you how to create some contacts, send a text message. We'll delve a little bit into the additional features and functionality, and we'll show you some reports after. What we normally do as well, for those that want to take part, if you have your handsets ready, we will be asking for some audience participation along the way. As I say, Daron's covered off the why, and this next 10 minutes is more the how-to really. So I'm going to start by giving you a little bit of housekeeping on the actual platform, so how we've landed at this home screen. It's an online solution, so ultimately the platform's run through our website. So anywhere you can access textlocal.com, you'll be able to access the platform. So that's going to encompass clearly your laptops, your desktops. If you think about your mobile devices, tablets, and so on. In actual fact, for the mobile devices, we also have an app which you're welcome to download from the App Store. Once you've logged into the platform, this is the first screen you see. This is just your home screen. It just covers off some very basic reporting stats over a 30-day window, such as what you might have sent or received. And you've got the navigation bar across the top. Just gives you a drop-down list. You can select a relevant header based on what you're looking to do within the system. In the top right corner, you've got a breakdown of your credits. So what are credits? Credits represent messages in the UK on a one-to-one basis. So they're bundled, as Daron said, and obviously on that reseller model, you'd look to make a margin on those credits purchased. It's very easy to buy those credits. You buy them directly through the platform, or we can invoice you from our offices. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to create a contact group. You do that by going to Contacts, Contact Group, Create Group. I'm actually going to go to Contact Groups though, because I've already pre-created a group for today's purposes. But ultimately, you give the group a name, and you can have as many groups as you wish there. There's no limit. And once you pop that name in, you land on the next screen here, where we can showcase our first piece of functionality to you. For those that have used mail merge before, it works out very much the same. Clearly, it's going to involve a little bit of data manipulation from you from the offset, but the idea behind this concept is that you could send a mass broadcast at the same time, and when it's received by the individual, it's relevant to their individual situation. So what I'm talking about is these headers right in front of you here. Number, first name, last name, they're self-explanatory. Custom 1, 2, and 3, you actually set the criteria for that. This platform's a one-fit-all solution, so on that basis, your custom one might be completely different to another customer's. And a really quick example of how that might work might be in the insurance sector, let's say, and they might use this as a renewal service, and the message might look something like, hi first name, car registration custom 1 is due to expire custom 2, your renewal price is custom 3. And to get that data into the platform, it's just a simple case of it in add, paste, upload, where there's 3 ways to put the data in. Best practice normally, especially if there's a lot of data, is to just upload an Excel spreadsheet in there. It's a CSV to be compatible with the platform, and you'd have a number of columns based on the amount of personalization you're looking to do, and you just load that data in very quickly just by selecting the file from your computer. The next option you have is the ability to paste a list in. So if you didn't have a spreadsheet already created, you weren't necessarily looking to personalize messages, so it's quite a generic based text. On that level, you could just copy data from a CRM and paste in the traditional format. As you'll see by the little warning box here, you can only put numbers into this. If you are looking to use personalization, just to stress there, you can't use that paste list feature. And then finally, you've got the least favorable option, and it's adding the data directly into the platform. Quite handy to add people to existing groups or create much smaller groups, but obviously if there's a large data set there, as you can see, it probably is going to take a good amount of time to pop those in. So look to explore the upload or the paste list feature on that model. So that's how you would load your own data in. Textlocal don't provide any data at all. We're very much about working with genuine businesses that want to text their customers that have opted in to do so. So on that basis, any data that's loaded into the system, it's stored securely at Rackspace in London. We don't prospect it for our own gains, we don't sell it on to third parties, so rest assured any data in the system is completely safe, and ultimately it's on you or your clients to build your own databases. So there is a way we can help you with that, and it's through a concept called the keyword and shortcode. It's something that would be very wise for you to understand in depth, on the basis that as part of the reseller package there are a number of keywords that are given to you free of charge. How we position this to sort of our customers is that, look, any business of any size will have aspirations to grow, compete locally, nationally, possibly even internationally with like-minded businesses. Traditionally, how they might have done that in the past, it might be going to a data agency to source data. Now, we all know there's a number of challenges there with regards to the quality of the data. It is arguably considered as spam, and we normally see a very low response rate from that. So what we would suggest is adopting a keyword shortcode model. And in short, what that basically means is it's purchasing a word or a referable word to a particular campaign or the business on a short number. So the first concept there is it's memorable. What you'd now do is you'd advertise this in channels where your target audience would see it. So that might encompass things like social media, direct mail, if budget suits, radio, TV, and so on. You'd then attach some form of compelling offer or promotion to it. So text in for a discount, a promotion, or if you didn't want to adopt that model, it could be used more as an informative tool. So text in for more information, text in to register for an appointment, and so on. Ultimately, whatever means you attract people to text in, once they've texted in, they've done so off their own free will. They now recognize or can relate to your business, and their details are captured. So organically, over a period of time, you're going to be building in an opted-in database. And the idea is when you now reuse that data, it should be a lot more fruitful. So everybody that signs up will get a free keyword with ourselves. As you can see in this instance, it's just randomly generated. So for demo purposes, it's great to use, but in a live scenario, you wouldn't necessarily use that because it arguably wouldn't be as memorable. So as you can see below here, we can set up specific words that are relevant to a campaign or a business. So I'm just going to take you into the settings on the webinar keyword. And for those that want to take part, you can open up a new message. So in the toolbar, just type the word number 60777. So to confirm, that's 60777. Then in the message box itself, just type the word webinar. So that's WEBINAR, and send that text message. Rest assured, we don't work with any premium rate providers, so that text will just be charged at standard network rate, or it can be free dependent on sort of your network provider and whether you've got unlimited bundles and so on. But ultimately, if you text that, what you'll get back is a pre-prepared message Now, in a live scenario, that could just be, this is the discount. Please quote at point of sale, or winner announced shortly, or here's the information that you craved. Obviously, for today's example, it's just going to be a couple of URLs to landing pages where you can download and view several sort of brochures about our products and service. But hopefully, it'll give you a flavour for how that service might work. And hopefully, you've seen there that it's a great way of helping your clients build their database. From the reseller point of view, i.e. marketing agency, IT, web developer, and so on, you would look to push those on your customers, because clearly that's an additional revenue stream that you can obviously charge for credits, but also then charge for this inbound service. Typically, we sell these ourselves at £25 a month. We do some incentives for block payments, so if there's a 6 or 12-month situation, we might look at discounting that slightly. But ultimately, we would sell those to you a little bit cheaper. That obviously would allow a margin. But first and foremost, the first 4 keywords we would provide you at no cost. So on that model, those first 4 keywords become complete margin. And what we've said to other clients in the past is sometimes you can offset those free keywords against the white label fee. So ultimately, it would make that a little bit more affordable moving forward. So what we're now going to do is just take you through how to send a text message very quickly. You do that by going to send a text message. Any group you've created will automatically appear on the left-hand side by putting the dot inside the circle that selects everybody in the group. If you don't want to send everybody in the group, you don't have to. You can just hit the expand option. It gives you a drop-down list where you can then pre-select the numbers that you want to send the message to. On the right-hand side now, this is where we really start to come into our own in terms of additional features and functionality. So the first that I can showcase to you is the ability to use a name rather than a number when sending a text. So the benefits behind that are, if your customer base can instantly have sight of where that message has come from, they're more likely to read and interact with that message than they would arguably if it was from a number that they didn't recognize. That's editable. It's just a case of drop-down list, keeps a history of what you might have used in the past for easy selection, or the ability to just add a new one. Bit of housekeeping on that though, it is only a one-way communication tool that can help you understand why names as destinations don't exist. So whilst that recipient's handset will display Textlocal, if you try and respond to that text message, the phone will always reject it because it has no idea where to send it to. So on that basis, in the text itself, you'll always need to put some sort of call to action in there, such as call this number, visit this website, etc., etc. I'm now going to prepare the message. So on the basis you were looking to use personalization, that wouldn't be very good because not everybody's name is Andy. So what you would look to do is refer to the insert merge fields in the bottom right-hand corner. If you remember the contact, when we create the contact group and the list of headers, what we would now do is obviously click the first name, and that will now do a hashtag lookup under what we populated under that data field. And when you hit the send button, it would change accordingly. For speed, I've just created a quick template for us for today, and we build our message out from there. Just going to refer to the bottom left-hand corner. Now, conscious of time today, so I can't spend too much time going through each. What I would say is I actually head up the support process for Textlocal, so I'm quite happy to give you my contact details at the end of the demonstration. And for a one-to-one demonstration, more than happy for you to give me a call where we could perhaps delve a bit deeper into these. We're just skimming why you'd use them and how they would help you. Ultimately, if you're using the sender name, we've just discussed it's a one-way communication tool. Now, naturally, as this is a prepaid pay-and-go concept, and you will offer to your client base on a similar scenario, it actually makes you quite vulnerable in that if your campaigns don't work, your clients will stop using the service. Now, clearly from your end and the ability to maximize the commissions you make, you almost need this to become a 365 service with your client base. And by utilizing or showcasing some of these functionalities to them, it will almost help them achieve that ROI that they crave. And why we say this is that ultimately if you send a text with nothing to interact with and your response rate on the back of that is quite low, there's nothing you can do short of targeting that whole database again to be proactive and retarget that database. Now, obviously, if you're sending a text out to the same group more than once, it's obviously doubling the cost. It's eating into a return on investment. You could be texting people that weren't interested the first time, so are they going to be interested the second time round? Chances are not. Now, using some sort of clickable or interactive link within the message will help you have some sort of idea as to what the interest rate might have been. And the reasons we say that is arguably people will only click or interact with the link if they're interested in the content of the message. And hidden in that link that we give you is trackable. So post send, you'll be able to pull a report that says, okay, I've just sent 100 text messages. Of the 100 I sent, 20 people clicked my link. And of the 20 that click the link, here's their names and numbers. So they're represented by icons in the bottom left-hand corner. You'd use each in different circumstances, but they range from anything from an attachment, like you use every day on an email, so that encompasses anything from PDF to video, image, and so on, right through to mobile web pages that Daron covered off in his presentation. So they're the ability to create your own landing pages that will instantly help customers jump to pages of interest, to very basic short links, which are pre-created landing pages on your server or even just a home page on a website. We can then go a little bit more advanced and we can look at creating surveys. That's great for customer service. Or the survey tool even doubles up as a data capture form. So the ability to create forms that would allow audience participation, let's say, to register for upcoming events, an interest in appointment, a product, a service, for them to come back to you and you to be able to subsequently action. Finally, you've got the vouchers and tickets, which again I know Daron mentioned. So the ability to create one-time unique tickets, scanned once for redemption, again integrated into EPOS systems if needs be, right through to the loyalty side of that. So the ability to change the way in which you manage your loyalty programs, which traditionally might have been physical cards that sit in people's wallets or purses, to something that might now sit on the passbook or pass wallet of your handset. You could then set some parameters, and on the nth time that might send out some sort of automated offer for satisfying a certain criteria. So as I say, I've skimmed those. Prior to go into more depth with those at a later date on a one-to-one basis, but hopefully you've seen the benefit of using those links and the reason why, and as I say, more so that's for the reporting stats that would sit behind there. You've got your character count underneath. In an ideal world, you'll always keep it to 160. Now, obviously for today's demo, it doesn't necessarily matter, but in a live scenario, if you were over 160, what you could use is the attachment tool to get around that. What clients have done in the past is create some sort of Word document with that full content on, and then maybe send somebody a very basic message saying, you know, click for more details, and you know, the user would then hit that link and open up the attachment, which would have the full content there. You can schedule messages. You can schedule up to a year in advance. It's quite a handy tool. Obviously, if you know or your clients know they're going to be in meetings at certain parts of the day, which is prime sending time, they can log on beforehand and set that to go out at certain dates and times. You've then got the opt-out service. So we've got a great reputation in the industry, and as I say, that's based on our ethos of working with those like-minded businesses that text opted in databases. Our spam filters are very efficient. We're quite choosy on that basis in terms of who we work with. So anybody found spamming through the system, to protect our name but also our client base, we have those spam filters there to sort of filter those messages out. What we would say, for any messages that are canvassing for products or services, please use our free opt-out service. People have the right not to receive that content. Just a tick on or tick off, as you can see, and people are able to opt out hassle-free. We take care of the admin for you on that basis. If we use that 100 send example again and say 20 people opted out, the next time you log in there'd only be 80 on the contact list. We don't delete the data, we store it under contacts and opt-out so you can review that at any time. That's also exportable to a CSV as well. We're now ready to send the message, so we always get a confirmation of who it's going from and to, the cost. When we're happy, we send the text, and for everybody that wanted to take part today, by now you should have received that text. As a caveat, just to let you know, we work with UK2 on routes, so ultimately that means to you in real terms that messages are sent and delivered in 3 to 5 seconds. So the honesty and the integrity of the service is second to none, we believe. Finally, I'm just going to take you through the reports. So we've discussed the benefit of using those links. Post-send, what you would do is you'd come into the reporting section, you'd hit the short link option. That would then give you a breakdown of all of the links you've used. You could then literally just use the View Stats button, where it's going to give you a breakdown of the device type, so you can profile your database. We've talked about the ability to create data capture forms, vouchers, tickets, surveys. If we know the majority of the database have an iPhone, let's say, we can start to be a little bit more biased in terms of the look and feel of those forms to suit those certain types of handsets. We get a plotted line graph of who's clicked and when they click, so it helps us target people in sequential order. But more importantly, if I was to hit export as a CSV, which I can't do now obviously for data protection, but what that would do is it creates a ready-made sales sheet for us, where now we can review that data and follow up accordingly with either a phone call or a second round of texts with a further message or offer on there. We've also got delivery information. Again, it's not something I can go into sadly because of data protection, but if you come into the SMS message history, you look whether you sent that as a single message, a group message, and so on. It'll give you a breakdown of the text sent, and then you would just literally hit the check button, and that would then tell you whether that message has been sent or not. And it's just a great tool to be able to cleanse your database. So that's the demo as a broad overview. As I said, there's a lot more depth I could go into there, but I'm just trying to keep it quite brief and to the point for today's purposes. One thing I do want to show you is just a nice way to finish the webinar, is that Daron's discussed our partner programs in terms of the dual brand, the white label. Obviously, this is something on a white label model that you might look to sort of pinch and pass off as your own. At the moment, you can see the look and feel is very much biased towards sort of Textlocal with our branding on there, our company colours, and so on. Now, as a white label solution, you do get your own reseller sort of control panel, if you like, which is found under Settings, Reseller Settings. Here you're able to view your user list. We've talked about the keywords. You're able to assign or renew keywords. We can see how many of our clients, what their credits look like. So therefore, if we can see somebody running low, we can be proactive and follow up there. We can create users. So obviously, you might position this to a new client. You don't need to come to us and say, guys, can you create this account for us? You can do that yourself through the control panel. Ultimately, what you can do off the back of that as well is you can create sub-users. So on that model, you'd almost have the ability to have sort of a parent-child relationship, if you like. You'd be the master account as the reseller, and then your sub-accounts would fall off the back of that, which obviously is great for you because you'll always have sight of what they're doing, what they're sending. But also, you're able to control what they do as well. So if certain clients say, okay, I really like the platform, but all of the bells and whistles aren't for me, I just want to send very basic text messages, you can do that. You'll have autonomy to shut off certain parts of the system. Likewise, you'll be able to create lockable templates, and you'll have full control over what those sub-users are doing. You can transfer credits between the accounts, and we can obviously look at the credit history and see what commission we're making as we go. That's more so for the dual brand. Clearly, from the white label perspective, you're setting your own margins anyway and billing the customer from your end. But if we come into the settings on the control panel, what we can do is we can brand this account by uploading a logo. We can do that. I think I've got a demo set up here. Which I can't find. Okay, I don't seem to have a logo in there, but what I would have done is, oh, I do. There we go. Typical. So we'd load the logo in. We can go to the style guide if we want to as well, and we can change what color the buttons might look like. We can change the background. Essentially, you can make this replicate sort of the look and feel of your business. Once you're happy with everything, you would literally just save it. But ultimately, if I was to then refresh my screen. Only 2 ticks. Would have helped if I had saved the logo. We can see now that we've rebranded the logo. Obviously, we'd need to do a little bit of work with the colours to sort of match the red and white. From a tech perspective, it's something we do for you as part of that white label package, as opposed to you doing it yourself. We would move all of the Textlocal branding at the bottom and so on. So the idea is, if this product was a physical object, we would completely, pick it up as it is and replicate that into sort of the look and feel of your business. That's pretty much everything I needed to discuss today from a demo perspective. I'll pass back to Daron, and at the end, Daron will give you my contact details, and anybody that wants a one-to-one demo, feel free to contact me.
Thank you, Andy. Okay, basically any questions and answers. I believe some of you have been asking questions while we've been online. Excuse me. I think the next point of contact is however you feel you need to engage with us going forward. I'm field-based. I look after the channel, which means that I can actually come out and have a sit down, have a chat with you, and find out a little bit more about your requirements and what you want to do. Alternative, if you're really happy and you think, well, we need to get involved as soon as, you can text Daron setup to 60777, and that will fill a form in, and I will get visibility of that form. I can look to open your account as well. If you want to book a meeting, you can text meeting to 60777 to book a meeting. Either way, anybody that's sort of been involved in watching the webinar today, if you do decide to come on board and get involved and start looking at making additional revenues through us, we will give you 200 free credits as part of that sort of initial onboarding as well, and that'll allow you to get to grips a little bit more with the messenger. And obviously, if you want, you are likely going to need some further education and further insight to how the messaging system works, and is very much available to assist with that. So thank you very much for joining our webinar today, and I look forward to engaging with you shortly.